Popcorn Stump Cake, Popcorn Stump. 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. And it is Friday, the 25th of October already. Wild. AD 2024. Hope you do join me for the Hake report, guys. Some of you guys are already on hold. And I will get to your calls. I appreciate it. I'm live on Rumble and YouTube and DLive and elsewhere. Let's see. Is it kicking on? Nope. It is kicked on. It's just that I'm not seeing my my restream chat, so I guess I just forget them. Shout out. Should be live on Facebook and other platforms as well. Shout out to the Facebook crew. I wanted to talk a little about what's going on in the news, according to Call Me Nonsense Network news, right? Because I caught some sort of interesting things in there. So I would like to share some of it with you. Notably, they're pushing the climate propaganda down our throats. You know, the stuff is the storms are stronger or something. They're dumping more water or something. Is this the right one? Yeah, I think so. Very nice. And I don't buy it. I mean, I don't know. I don't care. But it's just sort of interesting that they push it down our throats. All of a sudden, let me crank this. I am hearing it. Very nice. So there's that. Beyonz campaigning with Kamala. Oh, Lord. We're walking up the mountain here. And what else? There was something else that I wanted to touch on. There were various things. There was a clip that somebody asked me to play, Popcorn's Thump Cake. Say his name. And he appears 3 times. Donald Trump talks about Arnold Palmer. Oh, the straights are calling themselves partners. And the kiss-up lame-o King Charles III, is acting like we need to do some acknowledgement of history or something with regard to Samoa. Not we, but the English. The Englishmen. Or should I say English males, because they're not being men anymore. They're not thinking like men. They're thinking like lame-o mama spirit kiss-ups. It's disgusting. I don't like it. So, you know, this straights thing, real quick, and then I'll get to your calls and we'll get into the show. This straights thing, CNN says more straight couples are calling each other partners. Proving JLP right that partners is a gay propaganda word. And it's infecting the straights, so-called straights. They're not morally straight if they're calling each other partners. Because that means that they think that they're being committed to each other. Oh, it doesn't express our deep commitment calling each other boyfriend, girlfriend, millennials and Gen Zs. Even though millennials are no longer boys and girls. They're supposedly men and women. But the significance of their commitment is not conveyed by the term boyfriend and girlfriend. Partner is more significant somehow. That is so... I've never liked throwing up, but it's like throw up beta, like the JLP meme. And it reminds me of AIDS and HIV. People call those gay diseases. And it's accurate. People know that it is accurate. Not that it solely affects the gays, but it primarily affects those males who are doing that mess. Gross. It's an unpleasant topic, but it just shows it. Their advertisements target them, and it displays them, portrays them. You know, the so-called gay dudes. So, I scoff at the lack of moral straightness and manliness of the Gen Zs and the millennials, who are such suckers that they'll call their girlfriends and boyfriends, partners. So disgusting. So, anyway, all that, I guess, and your super chats and your calls if you'd like to call in. But anyway, guys, it's Friday, and it is the AJ Gallardo original theme song. So let's just get right on with the show. Oh, come on. Complicated business, folks. It's complicated business. Is Studio 4 off or something? Oh, no, it's on. Show! Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Nick, not the only genius here.
Oh, it's the Hake Report.
Yes, he is.
The Hake Report, la la la.
Hey, guys! I hope you're enjoying the beautiful walk if you're watching the video feed up this snowy hill in beautiful Southern California. Christmas Adam or Christmas Eve 2023.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I have, I thank you for joining me. I'm wearing my I Love Boomers t-shirt because I am a boomer. After I sort of grew up, I started to hate boomers. And then I started hating the boomer haters too. Because boomer hating is trendy. The liberals do it. The so-called right-wingers do it. Everybody's doing it. And I don't like doing what everybody's doing. And so it's miserable. And then I realized, hey, love the boomer haters and love the boomers. I should make another t-shirt that says, I love the boomer haters too. Anyway, let's get going. Let me get to Manuel in California, who's on the line here. Manuel, how you doing, man? Thanks for calling and holding. What's up?
Doing well. How you doing, Hank?
Doing well as well. Thanks, man.
You should make a shirt that says the Boomhowers.
Yeah. That's a reference to the King of the Hill guy who talks sort of like my caller Mumbles from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jeff.
Jeff is cool.
Man, that dude makes me laugh when he's talking. Not laugh, but, like he's got a deep accent with that.
He really has. It's true.
I tagged you in a thing on Twitter.
Oh, nice.
Check it out later. I sent it to the producers too. It's about Donald Trump in an interview, and he said something about forgiving your parents or not blaming your parents.
Oh, nice.
Remind me of JLP, so that'd probably be a good one for you guys, the JLP show.
Right on. Thank you for the tip.
But yesterday, I called in yesterday, but I had to get off. I got a call that came in, but I wanted to comment on what Ronnie was talking about. And I'm kind of glad I got off the phone because I can tell there's no reason with him, to be honest. He's got his mindset that Trump's not that good of a candidate. So
yeah. And so were you judging him?
No.
Okay.
I can just see at the end of the conversation, like, wow, even with what you were saying, it's not going to get across.
Right.
So I guess I would judge him if you think about it. Like, I didn't see a point of trying to get it across to him.
True. Yeah.
I almost asked to go on the phone with him, like, hey, I want to talk to Ronnie, but I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
The whole economy, which is crazy to me, and I say it every time I call now, that the market was doubled when Trump was in office, and when he handed the economy over, just going off the Dow, the Dow was at like 31 to 32,000, which even after COVID. So I don't know why people can't get in their head that the market bounced right back after COVID. It never stayed below before COVID. So it was higher after COVID. So this whole thing about getting the bad economy and shipping and blah, 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 that's not really the problem. The problem is they printed more money than ever after that.
Oh, wow.
They should have never printed money.
Yeah. I've heard about that a little bit.
Yeah. Have you ever read Thomas Sowell?
No, not really. I've only seen snippets and heard snippets of things that he's said.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Economist, black economist, very smart.
Right.
I think he was friends with JLP. Is he? I don't know if he's still living, but anyway, he might have been on JLP's board.
I'm pretty sure he's still alive. I didn't know that they knew each other. Wow.
I know there's a couple of those black guys. I played a couple of those black smart economists. Walter Williams. Maybe I'm confusing him with Walter Williams, who also, I think Walter Williams died. He turned kind of anti-Trump, but I still respect him. He was smart on economics and stuff. But yeah, Thomas Sowell.
He's got a book, Basic Economics, and he goes over basics of it, you know. If you don't print money during a crash like that, the economy will just recover itself.
Oh, wow.
And the biggest problem with Democrats is like, oh, if we just print more money or give more money out, it'll float the problem. Well, all it does is float it out longer. Instead of dealing with the problem for a week, you're going to deal with it for a month. You know, instead of a year, you're going to go over the years. Well, they printed so much money, and then now they're just giving money left and right to these wars. And so that's just another effect on the economy.
Giving money to these what?
Say that again.
You said they're giving money to these what?
The wars.
Oh, the wars. Yes. Yeah.
You know, billions of dollars to these wars. Well, that's less money in our pocket here, which will rise inflation because the dollar is not being circulated here in the U.S. It's being circulated somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like when the Mexicans get their money and they ship it back to Mexico, well, that money's no longer in our system, so it's hurting our economy. And that's what Trump was trying to do. He's going to tax the money that's going back to Mexico to build the wall, because if you're going to send the money back over there to help your economy, that means you're pretty much stealing from not stealing, but taking from ours.
Yeah.
So, and then also Kamala was a senator in 2017 to 2021, and I guarantee, I didn't look it up, but I guarantee you she never voted for the border wall in those 4 years. So Trump never got a fair shake at trying to build the wall and finish it. Everyone was fighting against him the whole time. Including
the courts, the environmentalists.
Right.
Yeah, that's so true.
Now what's the problem?
It was pretty interesting, the ignorance and the, pardon me, Bald Man 54, Ronnie from Ohio. Sorry if I'm doxing. But that was pretty dumb when he's like, oh, the border wasn't fixed under Obama, right? Right. The border wasn't fixed. They were coming in illegally under Trump too, right? Right. Therefore, right. Obama and Trump are the same, basically. He didn't say that, but he's like, none of them are going to fix the border. And I said, Trump was improving it. He was fixing it. But, this is such a dumb, impossible, ham-fisted, ignorant metric that he was using. And he admittedly doesn't even care about this situation. At least he doesn't think it's one of the top concerns about the country, the immigration problem. He doesn't see it as an issue. But it was, hey, people think crazy things. And then they blindly and kind of ignorantly assume stuff about people. And you're wrong to try to convince them otherwise, really. You can say the truth to them as you see it, but leave them be, definitely.
Yeah. I get that whole argument that it was the same under both presidents, but if you had a president that was trying to build the wall and everyone's fighting against him, Imagine if no one fought him and that wall was built.
Yep.
The obviously you're still going to get some people getting in, but the numbers would be so low they wouldn't be able to use that as an argument.
Right.
That's why they didn't want to build the wall, so they can still use it as a argument of, well, he didn't fulfill what he did.
Right.
Well, what other president has ever fulfilled fully of what they promised? Probably none.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because it's not solely up to them. Even if they tried to fulfill their promises, which Trump did, he tried to with even going after Hillary. He tried to go after Hillary, according to what I read from Bill O'Reilly's book. But the White House counsel advised not to do that because it would look political. And the only thing that the Republicans don't do that the Democrats do. The Democrats don't care about looking political. They go after the Republicans and the conservatives and the J6ers and everything. And the Republicans don't go after their political enemies, even when they should, even when they have a right to. It's a shame.
There has to be an example set eventually. But the problem with Trump, the media and all that against him, is that they'll play the dictator thing.
Yeah.
And
no, the courts were against him and everything. And
right.
and Ronnie was so ignorant that he wants to pretend like, oh, Trump could have done it. And he was doing it, but he was being stopped at every turn, including even the rhinos were against him in many ways, totally undermining him.
When you have your own party against you, it's just a definite lose-lose situation.
Yep.
And if we're to try to do that, they'd be like, oh, see, guys, I told you, he's a dictator. He's not listening to anybody. He's just doing what he wants.
Yep. Meanwhile, Obama was like, I have a pen and I have a phone. And then he did all these executive orders, DACA, and all kinds of stuff.
Right. I got my little quarrels with Trump. Like he changed the long form for tax codes. I don't think he should have ever done that, but I get it. If you guys want to complain about something, well, let me show you what to really complain about.
Yeah.
But that can be solved. If he gets rid of taxes, then none of that would matter anyway.
True.
I'd be right back on his side, not 100%. I still got one other issue I won't mention, but it's just a mess for him because they're just any way about it. They're going to look at the negative, and I'm sure Ronnie isn't dumb. It's just
he has a blindness that's dumbing him. He has a judgment that is dumbing him, and judgment dumbs you. That's something that affects everybody.
Yeah, I've seen that with myself. Like with him, I was dead set on him. Oh yeah, he's not a god, but I was putting him up there like that.
Yeah.
And then that tax code came up, and I'm like, whoa. You set me up for failure, buddy.
You're the only one I've heard mention this thing, I think. And I remember you mention it. I vaguely remember you bringing it up before. But there's always stuff that people do, and it's either outright wrong or it's something that's going to hurt some people and unfairly. And it's interesting. That's why you have to be humble because you don't really know everything. I mean, because a lot of us don't even know what you're talking about with the tax code long form thing, but it's a real thing, apparently.
Do you W-2 or do you 1099?
I don't even know. Maybe both.
No. Do you get? Well, you can, but do you get paid with a check and the taxes are taken out, or do you get paid in a check and there's no taxes and you pay it quarterly?
Oh, I think it's taken out. But on some things you have to pay estimated taxes, or at least you're supposed to, but you don't necessarily have to. You don't get in trouble if you don't. You just pay through the nose at the end of the year with your tax man. So I've run into both of those things, actually. I have paid estimated taxes over the years sometimes.
Right. So I haven't done W-2, which is your taxes taken out. You do your W-2, W-4, when you go work for somebody.
Yeah.
1099 is when you create the money.
Independent contractor type of thing, maybe.
Right.
Okay.
So I've only done 1099 since I was at least 17, 18 years old.
That's awesome, man.
So you can always long form. So you get to write off like your clothes, your sunglasses, repairs, like whatever you use for the business. To where W-2, you can't write off all that. But you used to when you were able to long form. You were able to write off that stuff while under W-2.
Yeah.
And then he changed it to where you can't do that. You can only do that if you're 1099. To me, it didn't affect me, but it affects others. And I thought that was a terrible mistake because we all want to write off as much as we can because I ain't paying the tax, man.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that.
I know, because the government doesn't spend it on anything good anyway. I mean, maybe a little bit of it's good, but most of it's not any good.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's like when Mark was saying yesterday, paying reparations. I thought he had a good idea, but in my mind, if they want reparations, then I'd be okay, no problem. Anytime that you've gotten governmental money, we're going to take that out of what you say you want. Say you want $1 million, and over the last 20 years, you've gotten welfare, Section 8, blah, 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 blah. We're going to take that out of that because that was free money given to you by the taxpayer that wasn't even your slave owner.
Yep. True. And you're going to end up owing because they'll be they'll end up owing the government.
I want interest on that too.
Or the people, the taxpayers. Yeah, totally.
You charge me interest if I were to pay my taxes. So if you got free money and you want reparations, that'll be a part of it. And if you owe us in the long run, I want interest on it because I didn't get free money.
Right. Whatever happened to Jubilee? All debts paid off.
One more thing, and I'll let you go. You were talking about that Samoa and British or UK situation.
Yes.
You should look up Mexico and Spain. The new president of Mexico is saying they want reparations from Spain.
Oh, Lord. Wait, is it a woman president? Is that the Latina?
The Jew. She's a Jew, too.
Jewish. That's crazy. Wow,
Imagine
the boldness. The
Mexico
chutzpah.
saying that Spain owes them reparations now.
That's ridiculous. Spain. Wow. They should be thanking Spain for having a functioning country, I think.
Right. You guys wouldn't be, if Spain didn't show up, you guys would still be cutting each other's heart out, throwing them down those big old stairs.
Was that in Mexico? That was Aztecs?
The Mayans, you know.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Interesting point.
I want reparations. I'm gonna find a reason for me to get reparations somehow.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
It's all the rage right now. Thank you. Thank you for the input, Manuel in California.
All right. Oh, never. I was going to say you were picking on my language earlier, but I'll let that slide.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you said seeked, and I'm like, well, actually, it's sought, I think.
I saw that. I saw the red underneath it. I'm like, I spelled that right. I don't know what they got wrong.
That's funny.
All right. You have a good one.
You too. Thank you, Manuel. Guys, since I'm on this topic, Manuel in California brought up the fact that, according to him, the Mexican new president, the first Jewish female Mexican president, wants reparations from Spain for Mexico. Today's quote from Commie Nonsense Network: "None of us can change the past, but we can commit with all our hearts to learning," maybe he has an old voice, "to learning its lessons and finding creative ways to right inequalities that endure." How come the deep-voiced Englishmen sound manly, but then you get a British black and they all sound not so manly? It just doesn't come out right. I think Linya and Chin may be onto something. It doesn't come out. And black men oftentimes sound relatively manly when they're speaking English. You know, at least you can tell it's a man's voice, you know? I don't know, but that's a side note. That's Britain's King Charles III, that quote. Right inequalities that endure. Inequalities are nothing to right, to correct. Inequalities are natural. God-given or Satan-given, but regardless or irregardless, if you prefer, which is not a word, but it is a word now. They put it into the dictionary. Look it up. It's a shame, but they did. The dictionary is fake news. But regardless, since when is an Englishman talking about equality? Yeah. Saying the Commonwealth, what? Commonwealth of what? What Commonwealth? Of Britain? Should acknowledge their painful history. Shut up. Sorry, kids, parents. Not sorry, but pardon me. I feel that it's wrong when I say stuff like that. Maybe I should do Church with Jesse Lee Peterson's assignment. Don't judge with words, thoughts, eye rolls, gestures, emotions. I judge with all four, and there might have been something else. When I read this, I almost said the C word, ap-cray. Rap-K? Don't say that word, kids. When I read this mess, oops, I said mess, and I said it with disdain and disgust, because it is disgusting. But anyway, his comments come as the subject of, I can't say it without judgment. Slavery reparations. I can. Slavery reparations, okay, has reemerged in recent days. Really, really painful. The hell in this brings out the hell in Hake. I don't know why I got this out. Oh, my spittoon. The spittoon of judgment. Pooh! I judge this. But what a shame, huh? What a shame. King Charles III, he's a mess. Shout out to messes. He acknowledges the painful history. It's only painful because like Hake, they're judging. Except that they're judging on the opposite side of the world. Ooh, look at him. Yeah, that's a handsome man. Oops, that's a judgment too. For an old man. By Max Foster, Alex Stambach, and Lauren said, Morehouse. This article by Uncommon Nonsense Network, world/Asia. Asia? Oh, Samoa is kind of Asia. Maybe they should have called it API, Asian Pacific Island, because it's a Pacific island. I think of Samoans as blacks, but they are sort of Asian Pacific Island, huh? Because they're in the Pacific. What's that say? Hopefully it's not a bad word. Chogum Samoa 2024. There is a King Charles. Doesn't he look like a dignified white man? Minus what are those things? Is that garlic? A garlic necklace. Bunch of garlic cloves. Whole garlic bunches. I don't know what you call them. Because that's a bunch of cloves. When they're all together. Garlic root. Whatever. Garlic fruit? Garlic vegetable. Whatever. Thing. Hey, look at the handshake. That's cute. Isn't it so quaint? So ethnic. Shout out to the Samoans. I like the Samoans, actually. But I didn't know that there was suckers Samoans who were for reparations. I guess I should have known because the Hawaiians are kind of lame like that, too. Rest in peace, Israel. He's the only Hawaiian I know besides the guy who sings, I Would Jump on a Grenade for You. Also a great song. Great musicians from Hawaii. 75 years old. He's only 75? The tender age of 75. Still looks pretty strong. Nice suit, hey? Look, that's a Samoan if I've ever seen one. Anyway. JLP interviewed one of the Democrat candidates, the Democrat candidate who beat Joe Biden in the primary in American Samoa. Beautiful. So I don't know. Speaking to leaders and what they call dignitaries from 56 Commonwealth nations at the biennial Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. That's what CHOGM means. Whatever. find the ways in the right language to address contemporary problems rooted in the past. They say that it's rooted in the past, but if it's anything like American, look at this ad. Don't look at it, that ad. If it's anything like American slavery, the blacks are suffering because of the blacks' ways of living. It has little to nothing to do with the past, except that it's an excuse to blame, and blame binds you into a slave. Like based Big Bump says. That's a judgment word, based, calling him based. I'm judging him as based, Big Bump. They are slaves to slavery. Or in Maze's case, my favorite caller, beautiful Maze. I wasn't able to get to her yesterday. She is a slave to stepping off the sidewalk for the people. Such a shame. So, like Manuel said, well, I don't know if King Charles is validating any notion of reparations. I think reparations is a stupid idea. There was nothing to repair. There was no systemic wrong. And even if there was, once there's a death, don't you dislike that? It's also a judgment word. Strongly dislike is hate. I was reacting to an ad. Those of you listening on audio podcast. Britain's King Charles delivers a speech during the opening ceremony for Commonwealth heads of government. Apia, Samoa, October 25th. And now my thing isn't working. Okay. So Emmanuel, like he pointed out, according to Mexico, according to him, the Mexican first female president wants reparations from Spain. I shake my head. And then there's King Charles III in Samoa. Inequalities. Right inequalities. Ridiculous. No one romanticizes slavery like Hake. Thank you, man. Anyway, let's keep it moving. I have super chats to read and things to get to. Joe in Phoenix, Arizona on the line here. Joe, thank you for calling and holding there, man. What is up?
Good morning, James.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, I don't know how distinguished King Charles was. That is the same guy who cheated on his much younger, hotter wife with some middle-aged idiot woman.
He did?
He did, yeah.
Pardon me for laughing. Doesn't that sound funny the way that you described it? You said that he cheated on his much younger, hotter wife with an older, middle-aged woman. Is that what you said?
Yeah, his current wife, Kamala Parker Bowles.
He cheated on a younger wife with Camilla Parker Bowles, who is now Princess Diana, now his new wife is this woman with whom he cheated.
Correct.
I disavow it, but it makes me laugh.
I don't know how that distinguished he is.
Well, I mean, just looking at him, he dresses like he looks distinguished.
Okay.
And also pay some respect. He's a king. He's not our king, though, thank God.
He's not my king.
Yeah, that's right.
It's interesting that there's a movement currently over in England called Citizens, Not Subjects.
Wow.
People who want to get rid of the monarchy and become a democracy.
Oh, cute goat there.
Yep.
I got to get the snake out. Okay, go ahead.
To get the snake out. Okay. All right. So I love it when certain callers call in and call me a liar because it's so easy to debunk and humiliate them.
Oh, come on. Do you take joy in humiliating your fellow callers, your fellow Christian men?
And they're calling me a liar, sure.
Your fellow white Christian men, because you're part white, so you're white too.
Yeah, about 42%, yes.
Hey, that's even more than Joel Friday. He was 30%.
All right. So Haiti, go to history.com. Again, I'm giving actual sources. There are multiple categories that took part in that revolution rebellion.
Oh, okay.
Now, the first group is called the Grand Blancs, which is French for big whites. They were the slave owners and the landowners. Okay? Then you had the Petit Blancs, the little whites. They were the shopkeepers and the tradespeople. And just like the American Revolution, they were very upset and angry for being taxed with no representation back in France.
The little whites.
The little whites, yes.
The Petit Blancs.
Petit Blancs, yes.
Les Petit Blancs. Sorry.
So they joined in with the biracial folks and the slaves. And that's where I told you that the Polish and Spanish and British people were. Some of them were the Petit Blancs.
Okay.
So they all joined in with the rebellion and the killing of the Grand Blancs, yes.
Now, what percentage of the killers were they? Or what percentage of the population were they, these Petit Blancs?
From what I understand, it was pretty small. Only about 40,000 people were in that category.
Okay.
But they did join in, yeah.
What was the total population of Haiti back then? Do you know?
I don't know, but there's about 5 million slaves and biracial people.
Dang. Okay, so it's like Mark has a point. It's kind of almost barely worth mentioning, but I have a point that solves all of this.
Go ahead.
It's the evil of the heart. It's not about race, really. It's not about slave or free. It's evil of the heart. Slave or free or slave master or whatever. It's the evil of the heart. Because I hold that revolution, from what little I know of it, it sounds like it was evil. Because didn't they kill innocent people?
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Just like the American Revolution killed innocent people also.
So the American revolutionaries killed some innocent Brits?
Of course.
And was that sanctioned by the leadership, or was it just in the heat of the moment, some of the soldiers, because they're young men, they're angry, and they go too far sometimes?
Yeah, that's what they call it, the fog of war, right?
We don't know, in other words. It's hard to get the truth.
Well, it's called the fog, F-O-G, of war. When people are in war, they do terrible things.
Based Nugget Man, our French-Canadian chief mod, French-Canadian chief mod, he says, Hake, the CS in Blancs is silent. Blanc. Le petit blanc.
True.
Le petit blanc. Sorry. Are you part French yourself? Out of curiosity, you don't have to dox yourself, but...
I am not part, but I have worked hard to. I'm not quite fluent yet, but I'm getting close. I'm high intermediate according to the CERF standard, CERF.
Wow, hey, right on. Good job. How about Spanish? You good at Spanish? You're in a Phoenix area. You better know Spanish, right?
Yeah, I know a little bit here and there, but that's my next language. But my wife's family is from a French-speaking country, so
right on.
That's why I focus on French first.
Yeah, I mean, back when my parents were kids, everybody learned French. That was their second language. You know, in high school, you can choose French or Spanish. But
Sure.
by my point, it was pointless to try to take French. It only made any sense to try to take Spanish.
I can see that. I mean, according to some studies, French is the second most spoken language in the world, though.
Wow, who knew? Well, you guys knew, apparently. Do you know Yiddish? Somebody asks.
I do not know Yiddish. No, I'm not Jewish, but I think, many studies show that learning languages is a sign of intelligence. So.
Oh, it's cool. It's fun. I like hearing people talk. I like hearing accents. Matthew says, no, Hake, I chose German. That's another great language to learn, I think. It's cool. It sounds...
I think so, too.
Harsh and cool.
Yeah. Anyway, but going back to, is it evil? I don't know, James. I think, again, our revolution, the Boston Tea Party, was all about being angry over taxation without representation, right?
Did we kill anybody with the Boston Tea Party, or was that just stealing their tea and throwing it into the sea? Not that that's good either. I'm not necessarily saying that it was good or bad. But did we kill anybody in the Boston Tea Party? There was just a Boston Massacre right around that point.
Boston Massacre is different, yeah. And by the way, the first victim of the Boston Massacre was a black man, Crispus Attucks.
Whoa. Hey, I recognize that name. That's a cool name.
It is. But anyway, I don't think anybody was killed in the Boston Tea Party. I might be wrong on that, but I'm not sure. But it's the same reason. I mean, when you tax people and don't give them a say in the taxes, people get very angry. I'm not sure that's evil, James.
It's evil. I think that it's paying evil for evil oftentimes.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable to oppose it, say it's wrong, but when you're angry about something, it's hate, it's insanity, overreaction. You get yourself in more trouble. You hurt your heart. You hurt your nerves. Being angry is not good for you or anybody, your family.
All right. Well, that's all I have for today, James. I won't go on any longer. But once again, know your facts if you're going to call me a liar, callers.
Okay.
Have a good day, James.
All right. Joe in Phoenix. Take care. Bye. Hake disavow tea dumping now. Not necessarily. Joe is right. They didn't give us a say in importing the Haitians, says Carver 531. Indeed. That's a fact. Hey, Rick in Hampton, VA, on the line here. Rick, thank you for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Man, my brother James, what's going on with you?
Not too much, just having a Friday show.
Wow, man. How the weather in L.A., man?
It's beautiful. It's nice and a little bit warm, not too warm, at least in my side of town. Going to be about 76 today. Cool and foggy this morning, but it's going to be clear skies.
Well, it's 67 degrees here and sunny. Great fall weather here in Hampton, VA, my friend.
Is it
humid?
humid?
I want to talk about.
Is it humid where you live?
Yeah, it's usually pretty humid here in the South, in the deep South. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually, like in the West Coast, you get that, that dry air, not really, no moisture in it.
Right. That's what I like. I don't like it too humid. I sweat enough even in this dry heat that I don't need to be in Hawaii. I mean, not Hawaii, Florida or somewhere.
Oh, Florida. The Southeast is like that. From the deep South, usually it's just hot, and
hot and humid.
I love the custom. People tend to be nice in the South. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
I tend to like the people. In the South is more friendly, more family oriented. Tend to be.
Yep.
But that's changing too, to be honest. But I want to talk to you about Howard University had a homecoming, and it's a historical black college, and the girls was there. They was dressed damn near pretty much naked. I mean, they was wearing lingerie.
What? Really?
Dresses. Yes, sir. You can look at that story, man. I read it yesterday.
I'm scared to look it up.
And then here's the thing. Then they get upset when people, approach them sexually because the culture advertises.
Right. Yeah. So true.
I mean, even Africa said the men here are thugs and the women are overly sexed. And that's why I was saying long before, if blacks here in America went to Africa, they wouldn't get along at all.
Oh yeah, true.
They wouldn't get along.
I'm scared to zoom in too hard on this. Far left extremist black outlet Bossip. I haven't heard of Bossip in ages. Bossip used to. So one of the former producers of the Jesse Lee Peterson show told me, go to Bossip. I guess it's black gossip. Haughty you a gallery of Mecca mesmerizers who set blah, blah, blah. Offensive woes ruin centennial homecoming game for Howard. Oh, it's the 100-year anniversary of Howard University?
Oh, I thought it was a homecoming.
No, yeah, but it's a 100-year centennial homecoming. It's the 100th homecoming for them.
Oh, okay.
According to these headlines, if I'm reading them right. Terrible. I'm afraid to click into it, lest I I sear the eyes of the kids. Terrible.
Yeah, it was. I think a lot of it made social media and everything, man.
Yeah.
And how you expect to find a husband dressed like that? Anytime you see a woman dressed that provocative,
Yeah.
they got something going. They got some trauma going on.
I'm gonna click it, guys. So cover your eyes, kids, and then I'll close it right up real fast. Hottie you, Hottie. That indicates an attractive woman. A gallery of Mecca mesmerizers who set the yard ablaze at Howard's 100th homecoming. I'm afraid to. I'll scroll a little bit. Okay, not too much. I should censor that. I would have censored that. But yeah, you're right. They're not. Well, I mean, that's not as bad as what you described so far. Well, that's just a person walking. Okay, interesting. Crazy, though, man. What you described, if what you described is true, then, I mean, that's just really a sign of the times, really. But so many people are following in the footsteps of dressing so scantily. Those gals, I mean. And guys are, some guys, you know, the LGBTIQ guys, I guess they're not L if they're guys, but some of them might think that they are because they think there's T's. But the blacks are leading the way in that scantily clad mess. And you're right, they're dressed like not ladylike, and that's not good.
And they always complain, oh, man, just look at us as sex objects. Y'all advertise it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what y'all do.
You look at yourself like that, ladies.
Yeah, exactly my point. Then when they come at you like that, now you want to get mad. I mean, you advertise that. I mean, it's part of the culture.
Right.
I mean, I think black culture here, for the most part, is demonic. All they do that, like I say, Africa they say blacks here in America are either gangsters or either the women are overly sick. They don't even want the American women here. I mean, black women here.
Right. Yeah.
And it's the point is like any woman a woman don't have to dress like that. All a woman has to do is be feminine, be cooperative. We don't care about their careers, how much money they make. Because half the time they make a six figure, they got a 6 figure worth of student loans. So what good is that?
A good point.
You know, and we don't look for that. I mean, but see, feminist group has made it. Hey, women be, and that's why if you see a lot of black women, they have college degrees now because they push it on them.
Yeah, that's true, man.
You know, and men don't want that. Any man of any race don't want that. We don't even care about that.
Yep. True.
You know,
yeah, we
like,
don't care if they have a degree or not.
We don't care about that. We don't care about their degrees. We don't care about your money.
Nobody even
All
cares
we care
about. Nobody even cares about my degree.
Yeah, you better know it.
I don't even care about my degree.
A degree don't make character. The only thing a degree tells me is that you got discipline to learn a subject. That's it.
Not even really that anymore. It just means you have the discipline to jump through the hoops, or at least pretend like you did.
Yeah.
They have so much grade inflation and all that stuff now.
Yep. I mean, like I say, you know how they cook numbers in the finance industry? They probably cook grades too in school.
Good point.
You know, so yeah, I thought that, man. I just wanted to bring that up, man. But yeah, it's getting crazy out here, man. I mean,
yeah,
it's like even like with the presidential election, man. I'm praying that Trump wins by a tsunami.
Nice. I hope so too. That would be beautiful.
Exactly, because I don't want to hear the Democrats. Well, Kamala won the popular vote. We don't elect our president by the popular vote. It's the electoral college. That's how it's done.
That's true.
By the popular vote.
Yeah, they want to switch it to the popular vote because they know they have the crowd, and they've been importing dumb suckers.
Oh, yeah, immigrant.
They've been importing dumb suckers, and like you brought up yesterday, I think with regard to the education, their education is not real education. It's not bringing out the best in you.
No.
It's brainwashing you into their type of thinking, which is degenerate and liberal.
Exactly. The first phase of being a Democrat starts in the public school system. The
That's
first
right.
phase.
Yeah.
That's why they want to teach financial independence. To me, like home economics and stuff that can help people manage their money and stuff, right? All they do is load them up with all these college courses, which they don't get no credit for, like when they go to college.
True. That's true.
They just load them up with all of them college courses. Oh, I got a super high degree. And you can't use none of those towards your degree when you go to college.
Yep. I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah. I don't think you can anyway. The only thing going to tell you got to take all the same courses over that you took in high school over again.
Wow. Mess.
And I think kids need to focus on home economics, how to sew your clothes, balance your checkbook, and how to pay yourself. How Jesse always say, pay yourself 10%. You have money for opportunities, but everybody spend 120% over what they make. You don't supposed to have anything.
That's an interesting point. That's so true.
Yeah.
Save your money.
And no one wants to save, though. Everyone wants to spend and spend and spend and spend. And no one wants to be accountable. And it's even like, for example, like even with Kamala Harris, she won't sit. The border, all they got to do is put the border patrol up there, put the military, then the border secured.
Yeah.
But they make it act like it's so complicated. We got to make new laws. We got the existing laws that protect the border.
The reason
Y'all
why
just not enforcing it.
Part of it is over the decades, they have made it more complicated because they're trying to find all kinds of ways to let people in. They don't want they don't mind a certain number of criminals coming in. They don't want too many criminals coming in to where they're looking bad. And that's what's happening right now, I think. They've let so many criminals in that they're looking bad. But the people are so blind. We, the people, many of us are so blind that some people don't even know that it's actually even a problem. You heard Ronnie from Ohio.
Right.
Lord have mercy.
You're right because liberals control the majority of the media.
Right. Yep.
So they control a majority of the media.
And you hear dumb people shout out, but okay, forgive me for saying dumb people, but dumb people like Ronnie saying, "Oh, Trump blocked the border bill," like as if they needed a bill to secure the border.
Man.
They didn't need a bill.
The reason why they don't even understand why Trump was against this for, because what it wasn't really no bill. So it basically was one of these type of bills here why Trump was against it, because Joe Biden said, well, instead of us letting 30,000 in a month, we'll let only 5,000, and that's still bad.
And you know what? And you know what else? According to the interview that I saw snippets of cackling Kamala Harris with Fox News' Brett Baer, who surprisingly, he surprised me. He did a good job. I didn't expect him to do horrible, but I expected him to be kind of railroaded. But she can't railroad anybody. She's so weak, which is another reason she shouldn't be president. But I remember Hillary railroaded over Brett Baer, I think. But maybe Brett Baer has gotten it a little tougher, even though he has sort of plastic surgery face. Brett Baer said that bill had was basically made a pathway to citizenship for a bunch of illegals. If I remember what he said correctly, he said it gave them a pathway to citizenship. Of course, Trump is going to oppose that. That James Lankford was the Oklahoma so-called Republican, red-haired, white, supposedly. He co-authored or authored that bill, but it sounds like James Lankford might be a rhino. And so good for Trump for opposing that dumb bill.
Yeah, that's why he opposed it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't no bill. It says, well, okay, we ain't going to let 30,000 in. We'll let only 5,000 in a month. Illegally.
Right.
So might as well, it's not even a bill.
Yeah.
So that's why Trump was against. See, like I said, the media don't put all that stuff out. You guys listen to some news like Sky Australia News is a good news source. They don't have a horse in the race. They just report the news.
Interesting.
That's it.
They do seem a little bit more on the conservative side. It's hard to find somebody who truly doesn't take sides, you know? But fair enough.
SRN News. That's a biblical news that comes on every morning, and all they do is report the news. Now, I like them. SRN News and Australia News.
Yeah.
Put it to you this way. see, the liberal media always just everything Trump said, they twist up almost everything he say. Everything.
I know, it's so ridiculous.
and that's why people have the impression what they have about him.
Yeah.
Because of the media.
Right.
They just repeat it over and over and over and over and over and over and over until it gets stuck in your head.
That's so true. Thank you, Rick. I got to run. It's great talking with you, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, have a great weekend, man. I'll try to see y'all at church service Sunday. Love y'all. Y'all have a God bless, safe weekend.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Yes, sir. Love
Bye.
y'all. Be blessed.
That's right. Catch church with Jesse Lee Peterson. Does church work? Oh, yeah. Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, rebuildingtheman.com/church. Terry says, I only listen to Hake news. Hake news, not fake news. That's right. Let's get to some super chats, shall we? You know, Popcorn Stump Keg had a statement on a super chat earlier yesterday that I thought of again. And it had to do with this. I think we're revisiting an old Popcorn Stump Keg thing. Because since it's on my mind, you know, Ronnie in Ohio has had some interesting calls with Hake. That's me. Past few days, in my opinion. He says, I think you have a misunderstanding of the burden of proof. And Ronnie from Ohio, I believe, said something to the effect of, Trump lied. He's a dishonest person. His example of dishonesty was Trump saying, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. That's not Trump's accent exactly. And he called that a lie. I'm like, how do you figure that that's a lie or dishonest? How do you know what information Trump has? Do you know that they're not eating the cats and dogs? And so Popcorn Stump Keg is misunderstanding our point of contention. Because the point of contention is not to prove whether or not they're eating the cats and dogs. It's something impossible for both Ronnie from Ohio, unless he's in Springfield, interviewing every single person and checking every pet, and checking the stomach or sewer pipes or places where you might go number two, if they pooped out the cats and dogs already. If they actually did eat them. Then he doesn't know. He doesn't know. I don't know. We don't know what Trump knows. My point is, we don't know what Trump knows or doesn't know. How are you going to call it a liar? How are you going to call him a liar just because Trump hasn't produced what you accept as proof? That's like saying, if you don't have a source, I can assume you're lying. I sometimes say stuff without a source. And there will be people who say, you don't produce a source, therefore I can assume you're lying. I'm like, that's a dumb assumption. The resting neutral phase is we don't know. I don't know whether it's true or not. That's the resting. This is not like the court of law where you assume somebody is innocent. You just leave it as I don't know. You just leave it as an I don't know. So he's assuming that Trump is lying, which is an assumption. Trump claimed to know they're eating the dogs. That's a lie. But how do you know what Trump knows? Do you know what Trump knows? No, you don't know. He's in the Baldman54 is in the chat. And so that's called, and I don't know if that's like it's sloppy thinking. You intellectuals have very sloppy thinking. Some intellectuals are smarter than that or more clear thinking than that. I don't know if it's an IQ thing or just a snap judgment thing or what. So burden of proof is on, I guess, Baldman54 to prove that Trump knowingly said something false. But Trump, he thinks that Trump doesn't have to knowingly say something false. He could be mistaken and it would still be dishonest. It's dishonest to be mistaken. I thought I heard him say yesterday. Interesting. Oh, no, it's dishonest to say something that you don't know to be true, as true, I think is what he was probably saying. to be more gracious to him. Because, he tries to be a clear thinker. Let's be, if I call, I might get hung up on, he says. Lord. I did hang up on you, but that was after 23 minutes, man. And I apologize. I have one more question. I told him to call back another day with his one more question. But it just shows the sloppy thinking, in my opinion, of Popcorn's Thump Cake and of beautiful Ronnie in Ohio. Bald man is Ronnie. Thanks for the docs, Hake. 100 says Seasal. Whatever. I think he openly is fine with people knowing that he is Baldman54 / Ronnie in Ohio. So I wanted to address that. Hopefully I did. That suffices. Take your burden of proof and shove it up your nose. A Christian saying that, so I can say it. Burden of proof. I shake my head. Anyway, back to the real super chats, since that was an old one. Let me see if this goes all the way up. Terry bought a coffee. You know a campaign is desperate when they start dragging out the celebrities. Laughing face emoji with tears coming out. Let me see if I can zoom way in on this. And then zoom in even more, because this is kind of important to me. I like to be... What? It won't go further? Let's see. Wow. That's ridiculous. I'm cracking. Whoa. Anyway, I guess it's not important. Thank you, Terry. Because wouldn't it be fun to zoom way in on that laughing face emoji? See it? This is kind of important to me. You see how big that laughing, relatively big? Let's see if I can zoom in even more. What? Whatever. We're wasting time. Thank you, Terry, for your coffee. Very nice. There was another one from Popcorn's Thumb Cake, a request that I shall, I think, play. Thank you, Yamum. Thank you, Gregatron, for those. What's up to the D Live crew? Hey! What's this say? Oh, yeah, I already saw that one. COVID did disappear, quote unquote, disappear, though. Yeah, I mean, is it all intents and purposes, or is it all intensive purposes? People say, oh, all intensive purposes, or is it all intents and purposes? It did disappear. Now it has, even that chat has disappeared. Shout out for the ice cream, thank you. Games for Rec, that must have been from yesterday because I'm not seeing any credit for it today. I'm also live on these other places. Wow, what in the world? Huh, interesting. Close that one, because I think that's a duplicate. Oh, you know what? I think I know what happened. I meant to go to Rumble. No, that's not Rumble. No wonder I'm such a boomer. Gen X. Some people say I'm Gen X, but I think that I'm actually Gen Y, which is millennial. That's what I learned in high school. Look at that guy. What's up, Crichton Hendren Tarantula? Trump told the truth. Those in Ohio are saying it. Where's the lie? The ones who've seen it to be true with their own eyes? ? I neither believe it nor disbelieve it. It's not something that I care about. I think that it's just funny. Am I wrong for thinking it's funny? What's up, Jules Verne, Old Saucy? Thank you guys for the support. For some reason, okay, nice. It is scrolling. What's up to you guys, all you guys? Shout out. Okay. Oh, hey, let's go to this. This is important. Let's hear this.
Arnold Palmer was all man, and I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this is a guy that was all man. This man was strong and tough, and I refuse to say it, but when He took showers with the other pros. They came out of there. They said, "Oh my God, that's unbelievable." I had to say it.
I had to say it.
Say it. We have women that are highly sophisticated here, but they used to look at Arnold and say, "Man, but he was really something special." Arnold was something special. So I just want to tell you, you're very lucky, the people that live in Detroit, and it's an honor for me to be here because of him. And he was actually he was a great man, and I don't think there would be golf to the extent that you have it today. It probably wouldn't be that way without the great Arnold Palmer. So enjoy it, everybody. Enjoy it.
What a beautiful tribute, huh? Thank you to our greatest
And
president.
I had to tell you the shower part of it because it's true. What can I tell? We want to be honest. We want to be upfront. It's true.
Yep. That's Trump. He's basically an honest person. He called himself basically an honest person. And that's true about him. He is basically an honest person. Which is more than I can say about Obama, certainly. It's more than I can say about Kamala, definitely. It's more than I can say about Biden, obviously. ABC 33/40. Thank you for the tip. What a great clip. I don't know what he meant exactly with regard to the shower. Don't try to explain it to me or to the kids. But right on. That's right. Arnold Palmer was a golfer. I was like, who is that? Is that a football player? Oh, Lord have mercy. Let's see. Arnold Palmer. Hopefully it's clean pictures. Arnold Palmer, American professional golfer. Oh, man. Look at that. He's like what that actor who played was it Daniel Craig, who played 007, wishes he could be, but Daniel Craig is a male feminist and a lame-o kiss-up, which he has to be for the sake of English Hollywood, because he's an Englishman, right? That Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig, right? Am I saying the name right? Daniel Craig. Yeah, look at him with that long hair. He's looking all goofy. There he is as 007. I really enjoyed watching his movies from James Bond stuff. Daniel Craig, English actor. Look at me. I'm looking up Arnold Palmer, and I suddenly go over to Daniel Craig, 56 years old. English actor. Yes, English. Thank God. But anyway, let's go back to the real man, the all-man, real man, not phony actor. Died in 2016, gone too soon. Born in 1929, Arnold Daniel Palmer was an American pro golfer, widely regarded as one of the greatest and most charismatic players in sports history. Shout out to the charismatic people. Died at the tender age of 87, gone too soon. Born in PA, died in PA. Latrobe, that must have been the name of the town that Trump mentioned. Trump sort of reminds me of Jesse. 5'10", that's within reach. Nicknamed the King. Wow, just like Elvis. And Michael Jackson, by the way. What does this say? Trump rebuked by Arnold Palmer's daughter for fawning over the late golfer. So says this far-left extremist, The Guardian. And then dirty video woman, Stephanie Clifford, not to be confused with the writer, I guess, known by you degenerates as Stormy Daniels, says that Trump is no Arnold Palmer. Cute, funny. He's no Arnold Palmer. Opinion, golfer Arnold Palmer was a real man, but not in the crude sense. Whatever. Oh, Lord. Oh, dirty degenerate. Pardon me, kids. I shouldn't have clicked on the far left extremist, The Guardian. Not in the crude sense that Trump meant. Why do you know what Trump meant? Trump said it in a tasteful way. He was being amusing, but he also meant it in the real way. So be quiet, Ed Gibson. Male writers, liberals. Did you know that even Huckleberry Finn, that author, was a lame-o liberal, I think? But he wrote some smart things. Samuel Clemens, whatever his pen name is, I can't remember. Mark Twain. I heard he was a liberal. I heard, but I don't know, that Rudyard Kipling was like a socialist or communist or something. I could be way wrong on that. But anyway. I might not even have heard that. I might have assumed it based on, or started to suspect it based on something that I read on far left extremist Wikipedia, written by a whole bunch of people who want all the best people on their side. And they can't have Trump on their side anymore, so they smear him. He deserved better than Trump's vulgar remark. Oh, please. You phony people. You know what's vulgar? Kamala Harris and what she stands for. The gay agenda, the feminist agenda, women in power, so-called power. That is vulgar. Crooked Joe Biden for the trans kids. Look at me, looking at me, looking at that. That's what's vulgar. But shout out to Popcorn's Thump Cake. Thank you, man, for the great tip. Beautiful tip. I'm so glad that you always give me great stuff, in my opinion. Have I got to all those things? Oh, yeah. One more quick thing. Maybe two. Election day laws. Far left extremist commie nonsense network thinks that, or they don't think necessarily, but they're saying, look at this ridiculous display. Two phonies. Two peas in a pod. Look, jungle fever. Just kidding. We're looking at a picture of two phony politicians, Barack Hussein Obama and Kamala, what's her middle name? Does she have one? Harris. For decades, Election Day in the United States has been held on Tuesdays, many people having to block off time between their responsibilities at home and work to vote. There are, however, 28 states where employers must give you time off to do so. Ridiculous. Employers must give you time off to vote. Meddling evil government. I think that's a government rule or law. Jean Sahadi. Gian Sahadi. Vote here. Choosing when to vote is finding a block between your responsibilities at home and work. Don't the polls remain open until like, I don't know, 7 p.m., 8 p.m.? And they're open at 8 in the morning. A lot of us do work 11, 12-hour days. 10, 11, 12-hour days. And some of you guys have long commutes. I understand it. And they used to be, but they're not anymore, I don't think, very strict about where exactly you get to vote. So I understand, but there's all kinds of ways to make it work. High propensity voters. I say make it kind of inconvenient so that the people who actually care are the ones who actually get their vote in. Don't make it so convenient. Because the more convenient you make it, the more the people who have no business voting vote. I didn't want to say the word idiots. And evil, take your sick day or something if you really have to do that. Or no, that's not a sick day. I disavow that. Anyway, I saw some chats. I mentioned this during Hake News. Let's see if I can bring these over here. Here's something somebody said. Hake hates employers being subjected to laws. Indeed, I do. I really do. These are from JLP chat. So thank you, Miss or Ms. for pointing out the facts about Hake. I do hate having the notion that employers are subjected to laws when you don't even have any business being that. And this person, Simsation Cannon, says, Hake was ridiculous for what he said about giving time to vote. If you're, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, if you're on the clock and need to vote, employers should give the employee time. Come on, dude. I'm like, I did acknowledge that I might, maybe, possibly be potentially wrong. Hake loves slave-driving employees. Yeah, I am. Baldman54. American citizens should have more difficulty voting. What are you talking about, Hake? Hake, you're insane. It's called high-propensity voters. You ever heard of them? High-propensity voters. People who are committed to getting their vote in. There are liberals who are that. There are probably more conservatives who are that, because conservatives tend to be more responsible. There are liberals who are responsible, too. We know many. I know many, unfortunately. And those are the ones who should get to vote. All these suckers, they're making it way too convenient. I don't like it. It's wrong. Because then we end up with dummies being president. Shout out to the dummies. Hake is a dummy too. And Hake should not be president. He's not ready. Ghost Patrick, yeah, because, oh yeah, this is a different thing. But it has to do with the laws. The government's the evil government is trying to reduce lead in the places, right? As if that's the government's job. It might not be, I don't know. What's wrong with the people? Dealing with them, not dealing it with them, dealing with it themselves. I don't think it's the federal government issue, but I don't know. Plus, I just don't trust crooked Joe Biden or cackling Kamala Harris and their ilk or Obama Part 3. Reducing lead is evil, right, Hake, says Ghost Patrick, who was accused of being Joe from Phoenix. But I don't think it is. And you'll notice that Joe from Phoenix did call in. I didn't ban him from calling the Hake Report. I said that the mods can ban him from the chat. So anyway, based obstacle course to get to the voting booth. Yeah, you got to pass a test, literacy test, poll tax. Let's bring all of that stuff back. We need some order in here. Anyway, pardon me. The fallen state is coming up next, guys. William in California has been on hold for like 8 hours plus. William, thank you.
Not really.
For calling. Hold, man.
Not really.
Right on.
What's up, bro?
Not much. How about you?
Oh, man, I'm getting ready to play some drums in the garage. I'm play me some Jam to the Who, Eminence Front. It's a put on. Come to our party dressed to kill. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, man, a few things I wanted to, in the news. Kamala Harris was at some of these P. Diddy parties.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is there anything wrong with that?
I just allow on that one.
Yeah,
no
fair
comment.
enough. Sorry.
You guys were talking about the pandemic, and I think very much so that it was weaponized. And a lot of times they don't want to look at the fact that a lot of the nurses and doctors got scared and ran from the hospitals and left people on life support, and they weaponized the pandemic by counting people that already had pre-existing conditions.
Yeah. There's all kinds of, I don't trust numbers. There's all kinds of numbers cooking. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you can to a certain level.
Yes.
But the only time that you should trust numbers is when they confirm what's around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And about the economy, you can't just print money. That's not going to, that's proven to be not a good idea.
Right.
Well, and they did that during the pandemic. About the wall with Donald Trump, it was the House of Representatives that was trying to stop him, and he actually put up a lot of that wall without their help.
You're right. True.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Trump's winning in all, it's official, it's not just polls, he's winning in all the swing states. And they're pretty much hitting the panic button. But, yeah, well, Caitlin Clark is leaving the WNBA, and they're losing a lot of money on this one. She left Nike, she picked up Adidas.
Wait.
And, yeah, she's gone.
No.
Yeah, she's gone. She took all the records. Every record except for most valuable player.
How come how come I see these things like fans already can't wait for the new WNBA? Wait.
They're gonna be done.
Wait, is she really leaving? Wait.
She's leaving.
She's set to turn down $1 million offer.
She's gonna be leaving
to play alongside. Yeah. She's set up to turn down an wait a minute. She's set to turn down $1 million offer to play alongside Angel Reese. Now that's different from her leaving the WNBA.
That's different. Yeah, that's different.
Is she actually leaving the WNBA, or is this your prediction?
This is a prediction that it is getting ready to happen. That she takes all those records with her in 1 year and just jump ship, because 177 flagrant fouls were on her, and they called about 5%. So she felt like she was getting beat up, and they weren't doing anything about it. Everything. So it's been some offers to this girl, and when she got eliminated in the first round, their ratings went down.
Now she hasn't publicly announced anything that she's leaving.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. But she's got offers on the table that are more handsome than what the WNBA is offering her.
What, other countries or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hopefully, don't go to Russia.
Yeah. Well, if she does, don't bring pot. Don't be loaded up with pot like some people.
Right. Well, there's some allegations with Reese's something about steroid use. So there's a lot of mess going on around with that girls' basketball thing. Yeah.
Oh, really? Steroids for Angel Reese?
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll leave it as I don't know. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Yeah. And what's going on with Howard University?
Did you hear what Rick said about Howard University?
Yeah, came in the garage and it was playing. He said something about Howard. What happened with them?
That it was a centennial homecoming, and he claimed that the gals were dressed like they were
Tramps.
in the bedroom, like they were in the bedroom trying to seduce their husbands, but they're not married, and so that they dressed very badly.
Yeah. Them in Langston University and Tennessee State and Alabama A&M, they do that all the time.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
the
young ladies don't know how to dress.
Not these days.
At least not properly, like a proper lady.
Yeah. They're kind of out there with it.
Yep.
You know. And then they're not really, they look at that from afar and like looking at it, but don't think they want their women to be, you know.
True.
I guess it ain't cool. Let's just say it ain't cool.
Yeah. Rick made the point that many guys are not going to want to marry a gal like that.
Nope.
Many of the best guys.
No.
You know?
I mean, you can do the research on that. No.
Right.
I mean, why should I run down the hill for one of those when I can walk down and have them all?
Right.
So, I mean, Rick's got a point on that. He's got a point.
Yeah.
Got to give him that. He's got a point on that.
Yep.
You know, so, and they do that a lot in the black colleges.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's a lot
All
of
colleges, really. All college girls are degenerate.
Yeah.
Because the others, the non-blacks, are following in the footsteps of the blacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you know, about the blacks, my people, look, not all of them are victims like that.
Right. I know that.
Claim that, I mean, I was always taught from a young age that when you hear blacks talking like that, run as far as you can, because nobody's done anything to them. They're the black people in America are some of the most fortunate black people in the world. So
physically they are, except for the
They're
fact
very
that they're
good.
born
They're
so
very
out of
fortunate.
wedlock. But
yeah, well, I mean, you know, they're very fortunate. They have more than most blacks in the world. And
right.
they're very fortunate. They're not as much of a victim, and they say run away from them when they say that, you know, because, I mean, a lot of stuff that they have going is no longer black-owned. We had a Berry Gordy with Tamla, Motown, Gordy Records. Black-owned, black-built before the civil rights stuff got passed, and he was very successful. No longer owned by blacks.
Yeah.
BET, no longer owned by blacks. There's nothing left.
Wow.
No, there's nothing left. Jet Magazine's gone. I think Ebony might still be around, but there's nothing left. It's gone. The black banks are gone. They closed them. Nobody took it from them.
Crazy.
Black Panther Party, gone. BLM, bad. So, you know, you know, what is there to brag about? You know, most of the blacks that you want to talk to are like Rick. And what's the guy up in Illinois?
Keith.
Based.
Nice.
Yeah. Individual thinking black people do exist.
That's right.
You know, but when they talk that stuff, no, ain't nobody doing nothing to you.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing anything to you. What do you got planned for the weekend?
Rest, hopefully. Get some rest, get outside, stuff like that.
You know what, James? I'm glad I thought about this. Donald Trump mentioned the story in Springfield. You got to hold people to the fire, man. Donald Trump mentioned that story because he's seen it on the news, just like I did, just like you did.
Okay.
So most of the blacks, and I've been to Ohio many times, most of the blacks in Ohio, they really live in Cleveland, Cincy, Dayton, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
But the Springfield thing, I asked a question about that. There was some black Hebrew Israelites marching in there.
True.
Talking about
I remember you. I'm saying true because I remember you saying that.
Anybody would know about that is your friend in Kentucky, and I didn't hear you hold him to the fire. I'm like, Mark on this. Hold them to the fire, okay? Since you know about this stuff, what are they doing? What's slavery? I don't know about anything about any slavery in America right now.
Right.
So I want to know what that's all about. I don't know about the duck story. It was on the news.
Right. I remember the ducks. Allegedly, they grabbed ducks from the pond.
They had some people. Now, Ronnie said it's not true. But there were plenty of white people saying that, man, I'm missing my cat, my dog, and the geese over at the park. And Haitians don't live like we do over here.
Yeah, true. Interesting, man. I appreciate you bringing that up, William. Thank you for the reminder. All right. I haven't even. I'll have to check it out. Thanks again, man.
You have to hold it to the fire, man. I mean, you got to, like Mark said, you know, you did a good job. You've been doing a good job. Everything is better and everything. Hold them to the fire. Hey, man, what's this all about?
Nice. Yeah. Right on, man. Thank you, William. Bye.
All right.
A few super chats. We're at the bottom of the hour. Before I get back to the calls, there is one line open. You can call in over on Buy Me a Coffee. I neglected to point out, Terry bought this coffee. I don't know if she's being sarcastic or not, because she's a good troll, you know? I got hung up on the beautiful laughing face emoji with blue tears coming out that I forgot to point out. Oh, yeah, Beyonz. Beyond that gal. Pardon me, I'd give a typo and it beeped at me. Beyonz is going to join cackling, lame-o, ridiculous Kamala Harris campaign rally today if she hasn't already, according to sources. Sources. Designed to be one of the biggest closing acts of the campaign because it's all an act. It's all for show. And when I say for show, I don't mean for sure. I'm not talking black saying for sure. I mean just a big lame-o, ridiculous show. As in SHOW. Look at that gal. What in the world? What did I just do? Come back. How do I do that? This boomer Hake. Come back over here. Get over here. This one. I don't know how I did that. Trackpads, man. Beyonz. Some people think she's mildly attractive. I can't tell what she is. I guess she's Creole. She's like Joelle. She does look a little bit like Joelle, except with makeup on and this long hair. And obviously she's not a man, I guess. No, yes, obviously. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, this is a man. But shout out to you guys. Some of you guys are in my chat probably. Beyonz to appear alongside Harris. Who's Harris, as Trump said, rightly. Look, a man is participating in this reporting. Who cares? Well, apparently Hake cares a little bit. Going to appear with Willie Nelson, the pie head. On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love, making music with my friends. And I can't wait to be on the road again. On the road again. The best of friends. On the road again. Nice. Shout out to Willie Nelson, but you're lame, you're dumb liberal. Not surprised. All musicians are liberals, including Ted Nugent. Shout out to Ted Nugent. He's kind of emotional, right? He has no opinions. I do respect that. Maybe his music is getting lamer, and that's because he's now a conservative. He's no longer a musician. Who else is a liberal? Kid Rock. Bump at the bonk, the bang, dang, diggy, diggy, up chunk, diggy. I'm trying. I know I said boogie, but I better not be saying that because anyway, that's his only good song, by the way. So you know he's okay. Now he's conservative. Kamala first walked out to freedom. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Big Bump is not a musician because he's a rapper. So he's not liberal. Same thing with, I don't know. I think that I sang a song that Freedom that's not the Beyonz song Freedom. That's the Hassan song. He's a liberal. Let's call Hassan a liberal. Shout out. Stop it, Hake. Okay, you're right. But anyway, it's funny because I suspect, but I don't know for sure, but she's so high IQ, this Terry person. I'm not positive. You know, a campaign is desperate when they start dragging out the celebrities because, you know, Trump has had different celebrities come out for him too. So I'm not sure. But anyway, she's pro-Trump. Anyway, back to the rest of the super chats. C. Bill bought 3 coffees. Hey, C. Bill. And I looked up to make sure I'm still on air because I fell off air last time I read a super chat from C. Bill. The whole stream went down. That was traumatizing. Liberal men, mama's boys, are the weak link to society. Yes, we are. Indeed, C-Bill. And these men should not have mustache and goatee. Ha ha. Indeed. I know. Who are you trying to be? What makes you bring up the mustache and goatee? Or is it called goatee? Goatee who? That annoying band. Thank you, C-Bill. I'm with you on that. I don't know what prompted you to say this. Liberal mama's boys with mustaches and goatees. And a super chat from Popcorn Stump K over here. I'll go back to my original example. If someone was running around town saying that you, James, stole their bike and other people were repeating it, you'd be okay with that because the people repeating it haven't seen any evidence that it isn't true? It is, and I don't know if it's true or not to the people saying it, but should they continue to repeat it? Obviously not. They shouldn't repeat it. But you don't know what Trump knows, is my point. So you're giving a false example. I mean, a bad parallel. Your example is fine for my sake. I agree with you, but for Trump's sake, your example has no bearing on Trump, on the example of Trump saying, "What about they're eating the cats and dogs?" Because they're saying it's a lie when they don't know it to be a lie. Calling him a liar is being ignorant and just calling him a liar with no evidence that he's lying. You have no evidence that he's lying. I don't know whether he's telling the truth or not. I just leave it as an I don't know. I laugh. I think it's funny. Maybe that's a me problem. Immature Hake, you know. But still, calling him a liar is a step too far because now you're making an assertion about him and the assertion he made when you don't know. That's my point. Now I get that you're saying that I said, because I said that Trump said what he heard. But he may have heard it from a reliable source. What the media did was they went to the police, and we've got no reports, blah, blah, blah. But the point of a crime is to get away with it. And those Haitians, do they get away with crime? I know a lot of other blacks do. But anyway, the point is whether it's true or not, is not whether it's true or not, it's whether Trump is a liar or not. And you have no evidence of Trump lying on this one. Anyway, lastly, calling someone as an intellectual is a catch-all just seems weak. Engaging in a conversation about ideas and disagreements isn't what I would consider to be intellectual. Yeah, but you are an intellectual in that you came up with this whole burden of proof thing when we weren't talking about whether it was true or not. We were talking about whether Trump is a liar or not. So burden of proof is on proving that Trump is a liar. And he didn't come up with a good example of Trump being a liar or dishonest, you know? So that would be an example of an intellectual, because an intellectual brings up something that's irrelevant. Intellectuals get hung up in their intellect and not dealing with the reality. They lose track of the point. And that oftentimes happens when talking with Joe from Phoenix, Ronnie from Ohio, such and such and such and such. For example, when you bring up black on black crime, people will say something like, white on white crime is 80%, or something like that. 80% of white crime is white on white. And 90% of black on black crime, is black on black. And that has nothing to do with the rate of actual crimes committed per capita, per 100,000. So that's an example of it's sort of a dumb intellectual, because other intellectuals do know the difference. Like Jewish intellectuals kind of know the difference sometimes. Some of them don't. But a lot of like the Jewish intellectual liberals that you run into, they like to have it right, whereas the blacks don't even care if they have it right or not, including black intellectuals. So it's just crazy. It's interesting. But when I say intellectual, you can call it weak, man, but it's not as a catch-all. It's what you are. It's what you are. It's what Ronnie is. It's what Joe from Phoenix is. It's what I am. and being hung up on your intellects, you miss the point. You miss the point. Make emotional arguments for Hake instead of intellectual arguments. Intellectual arguments are emotional arguments. Because you're hung up on your intellect, you're emotionally attached to your intellect, to your brain. Hake sounds like a judgmental female, says Ned Post. Touche. Hake, why did you and callers feel the need to get personal and attack me, calling me dumb, rather than taking an honest approach and attacking my argument? Calling you dumb is honest, man. Are you calling me dishonest and calling you dumb? It's not personal. I mean, you can take it personally, but calling you dumb is just how I see you when you talk in a dumb way. For example, it's dumb. It's literally just dumb to say, did the illegals come in under Obama? Did the illegals come in under Trump? Okay, then. Trump didn't fix the border. You said he was going to fix the border. That's called being dumb. Intellectual is emotional. Emotions happen in the intellect. And you get attached to calling someone dumb equals getting personal. Not necessarily, man. I mean, but it's true. You personally are dumb. You personally are getting, anyway, whatever. Moving forward. It's not important. Intellect is logic. Logic is masculine. I know, but intelligence, no, Belly, so you have it backwards. Intelligence is non-emotional. Intellect is. Intellect is logic. Logic is masculine. Maybe you're getting lost in logic then. You're getting lost in logic and missing the point. You bark up the wrong tree in life oftentimes, you'll notice. You get hung up on something that is not important at all. Come back to the present. Hake off the rails. Indeed. I'm getting blown and buffeted by the waves of the chat. It's an ad hominem, Hake. You have it backwards, Hake. Intelligence, as JLP said about intelligence, intelligent people versus intellectuals, an intelligent person neither accepts nor rejects information, for example. For example, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Some people accept it. The intellectuals either accept it or reject it. No, it's not true. Proof, bro. Evidence, bro. Source, bro. That's oftentimes an intellectual. Intelligent people neither accept nor reject it. Because they know better than to accept or reject it. Nice. So, and it is dumb to be an intellectual. It is dumb to argue, especially ignorantly. And that is what most of the arguments are. And debates, too. Debate is woman noise, as based Lin Yan Shin says. Okay, thank you, Popcorn's Thump Keg. I think that I dealt with that, right? Let's refresh just to make sure. We're coming down to the wire. Intellectual hate got hung up arguing with the intellectuals. Fellow intellectuals, judging them. Terrible. Carver bought a coffee. Wishing Trump well on the Not Morally Tall Competitor podcast. Hopefully it helps bring over the normies who enjoy untrustworthy pothead talk radio. P.S. Postscript. They really are eating the cats and dogs, says Carver with the coffee. If Carver says it, I don't necessarily believe it, but that settles it because we leave it alone. Thank you. So Trump is going on my competitor podcast. Right on, I guess. That's cool. Sweet. Forgive me if I'm wrong, Baldman54. Should I apologize for calling you dumb? I should definitely apologize to the kids. It sets a bad example, you know? Terrible. All right, so out of an abundance of caution, I apologize. I'm wrong calling you dumb. I'll just call that statement dumb. Or I'll say I fail to see the intelligence in bringing up the questions side by side. Was it fixed under Obama? Was it fixed under Trump? Did illegals come under Obama? Did illegals come under Trump? I fail to see your point. Put it that way. I fail to see your point, so I find it rather dull. Anyway, we got to get back to the calls. Jaime in Minnesota is on the line here. Jaime, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, how's it going, Hake?
Going well, thank you.
That's good. Hey, I wanted to touch on the Opium Wars in Britain or in China back in the 1830s. It kind of explains tariffs a little bit. So way back in the 1830s, Britain was bringing opium from India and bringing it into the ports in China. And opium was illegal in China.
Wow.
So they were basically sneaking it in. And the Chinese officials, they'd confiscate tons of it, tons and tons and tons. Well, the British people, or the British government, got upset about that, and they started a war with them. And, well, China lost the war because the Britain people were much more, they had a lot more going for them in naval and artillery and all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But once they did a treaty, they opened up, China had to open up a bunch of ports to the British merchants.
Okay.
Back before all this, they only had one port. In China, there was this big inequality of imports and exports for China. They were exporting a ton of stuff because the Britons, they liked their Chinese goods, silks and tea mostly, tons of tea. And so all the British money was going into China, their silver.
Yeah.
Back then they were using silver. So China was getting rich off of them. And so after this treaty, China was forced to accept more British goods.
Wow.
And China had to pay reparations, 12 million, what they called silver dollars. What that is, I don't know. But it's 12 million of them or more. And it was six million for the war as reparations for causing Britain to go to war with them.
Yeah.
And something like 6 for the merchants and things like that.
Wow.
So China effectively had a tariff on British opium. Okay.
I thought that opium came from China to America.
Sure at a certain point it did, but in this point in time, it was from India to Britain.
Oh, okay. I confuse China and India all the time, I guess.
And China didn't want that stuff. Their government didn't want it.
Good for them.
And so that's how that worked. But if I could, with Kamala Harris's economic plan,
yeah,
and especially the Inflation Reduction Act that Biden passed and Kamala helped, that is a good economic plan if you're a globalist. If you're a nationalist, it's a bad plan.
Oh.
And you see that Inflation Reduction Act puts more money towards solar panels and wind and all that, and solar cells being made here in the U.S.
Yeah.
So that the rest of the world will look at America and say, hey, they're doing it. We got to do that too. So we're kneecapping ourselves on energy for the long term of convincing other countries to do the same.
Wow.
So in Kamala's and Biden's and some of those other Democrat people's minds, it is good because they're globalists.
Oh.
And I think that's probably kind of the misconception people get. They're not nationalists.
So that's why those, however many, 23 or whatever, Nobel Prize winning or whatever economist signed that letter saying opium. Kamala's economic plan is far superior to Trump's.
Exactly.
Wow.
Because they're
Okay.
globalists.
Yeah.
Not because they weigh things differently than us.
Aha.
And that's the
Sort of like globo homo
right.
economy.
So in their view of the world, how the world works, it is good.
Okay.
And Trump's plan is bad.
Yeah.
Because it only focuses on the nation and not the rest of the world. But that also brings.
But Trump knows how to make deals with the rest of the world. Like he got allegedly, according to him, more money out of NATO and the UN. I think, right? Didn't he have some of them paying their fair share, a little bit more anyway? And he knows how to deal with the other nations, and he definitely did.
There might be more nuance to that because if you're causing other countries to pay more, that's a globalists who are the elites here. They don't want to pay more, so they say it's bad.
Yeah, but it's good because it kind of whips them into shape. They're getting spoiled, and when you get spoiled, you get fat and lazy.
And this is a nationalist way of thinking that we're talking about here.
Yeah,
and I agree with it.
It's a manly way of thinking, I think.
But they're globalists.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't see it the same way we do. But with the vice presidents are very powerful. Anybody in government is powerful.
Oh, okay.
So they send Kamala Harris out to talk to South America, remember? Making deals.
Yeah. She was supposed to deal with the reasons behind the mass immigration. Yeah. Right.
And Biden is listening to Kamala. I mean, Biden's a
you think he's making decisions?
I'm sure he was before. Probably not anymore since they co-opted her in. You might be upset about that. But
I don't really believe that he made any decision. I could be wrong, but I just can't picture him making any decision.
Well, I'm just saying.
Ever.
That these people do have a lot of power. And
yeah, fair enough.
The news said that the vice president doesn't, but Ronnie listened to the news, took it, and didn't do the research. Ronnie doesn't think for himself.
Shots fired.
As much as he says he does. Because if
Fair
he
enough.
had, he would have looked back at the other vice presidents in history and realized that vice presidents do have a lot of power.
Yeah, in fact,
Nixon,
one of the earliest vice presidents, some of the earliest vice presidents undermined the president because they were competitors.
And Nixon, he was a vice president. Signu Agnew, he was a vice president.
Whoa.
All these guys, they went out to other countries and made deals.
Yep. Interesting.
Right? That's a lot of power.
That's it. Fair point.
So that stuff is BS.
Bogus speech.
If I could, the last thing.
Real fast.
There is no globe. Earth is a terraform. It's on a plane with a large rock jutting out of the bottom. And those rocks out of the bottom, they look like tortoise legs.
Now, are you trolling me when you say this? Because you're just making everybody. You made some great points earlier in this call, and now we want to just throw it all away.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Okay, but that is cool. I love the pictures of the tortoise holding up the world. It's better than Atlas.
But there is a point to the flat earthers that they need to come up with better scientific arguments.
Yeah, true. They need more explanations of what's going on. Because when I look at the sunset, the sun literally, you can see the sphere and then, or the circle really of the sun, and then it gets like a portion of a circle when it dips below the horizon. That is not what vanishing point looks like. Flat earthers, my beautiful flat earthers. Thank you, man. It's great talking to you. I got to run, man.
Okay.
Take care.
You have a good weekend.
You
Bye.
too. Bye. Unfortunately, I cannot get to the rest of the callers. Sal in Tejas, Mark in Los Angeles, and the rest of the callers. It is Fob Friday, and we got to end on time or else we will be Red Square. This is Andy Lau. Bye, guys. Is this Is this Queen?
闯了多少梦？黄色的脸，黑色的眼，不变是笑容。千里山川河岳，像是一首歌。无论你来自何方，将去向何处？一样
Red sun in the sky?
一样的痛，曾经的苦难。我们留在心中，一样的血，一样的痛，未来还有梦，我们一起开拓。手牵着手，不分你我，昂首向前走，让世界知道我们都是中国人。
Zhong Ren means Chinese.
5000年的风和雨呀，闯了多少梦
Andy Lau
黄色的脸，黑色的眼，不变是笑容。千里山川河岳，像是一首歌。无论你来自何方，将去向何处？一样的泪，一样的痛，曾经的苦难，我们留在心中。一样的血，一样的痛，未来还有梦，我们一起开拓。
Woman means we. It's Buddhist.
一样的血，一样的痛，未来还有梦，我们一起开拓。手牵着手，不分你我，昂首向前走，让世界知道我们都是中国人。手牵着手，不分你我，昂首向前走，让世界知道我们都是中国
人。So good. Adios, America. The Fallen State.tv. Hake has the single worst Hake and taste in music. It's communist. Well, that was Mr. China. Thank you guys once again, and apologies to the callers I was not able to get to you. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. Bye, guys.